Good morning, everybody. We are having a chilly morning here in Northeast Washington. We are up, well, going to our crystal locality, I guess. The Hanson Creek of Northeast Washington, solo. This is a locality we've been to before, but we didn't have much luck, and that was years ago. We actually haven't came out here a whole lot, and it is a cool, damp September day, end of September. So let's head on into the woods. We're going to just kind of see what people have been up to, check out some of the pits, and well, yeah, we're going to try to find something to go dig at and hopefully find some quartz crystals. The quartz crystals out here are going to be smoky quartz. Oh, hey, I see a fire.
A fire?
Right there, it's smoking.
Oh.
So the smoky quartz out here is going to be kind of good. It's going to be good. It's not going to be like that black color that has been, has aluminum. It's going to be quartz that is irradiated. Well, that's not what you want out of a fire pit. So we have a fire pit that somebody had going, and it...
There's a squirrel right there.
Gosh. People wonder why we have our dog on a leash, and here's a prime reason. Well, I think we'll get a bucket and fill up some water, because that's clearly burning into this old buried log here.
That's bad.
That is bad. And then we're going to come back and check out the diggings. Well, I'm glad there's water here. I'll probably do that a couple other times. There's actually a neat little creek running through here, and there's a log that makes a, I don't know, little waterfall. I put the bucket under. Growing up, I remember there was like a little honorary plaque that the Forest Service would give out, and it's like the Smokey the Bear plaque for like putting out fires and stuff. Maybe I could...
What, you earning your plaque
Am
today?
I earning it now? It's probably just a thing you print off now.
Yeah.
Like, on our way out, we'll maybe hit this with the pick and make sure that it's everything. It's not like burning underground at all.
Yeah.
It's still smoldering.
Mm-hmm.
Pits and tunnels. People getting crazy up here, finding crystals. I think we'll do some scouting, walk back to the car, and get some tools. We got some massive quartz all through here.
Is that a screen?
Yeah. Lots of massive quartz, but that's not the prize.
You know it's serious when they notch steps in the side of a hill.
Yeah, the diggings kind of just go and go, and we'll just kind of come in here and trying to just look at what other people have left and use that as a determination if it's worth me digging at. So I think right here to the left of your screen, that's a somewhat decent place to do some digging. people have clearly been here and been digging and screening, and I haven't seen anywhere else that exactly looks like this here, so perhaps this is a semi-decent spot to do some digging and screening myself. So I think the plan is I'm going to walk back to the car, get my tools, and come right back here and have at it for, an hour or so and see if I come up with anything at all. And then we're going to do some walking, some meandering, going back down towards the car. There's other trails off into the woods and stuff. This is kind of a crystal digging prospecting trip. Try to find something good. So this isn't the most amazing specimen, but it's pretty obvious to be a quite dark smoky, and I haven't even really started working here. But yeah, so I mean, it seems like we might be in the right spot. So there's not a whole lot of information that's actually helpful online about this area. Usually people will say, go and dig. But that's not really helpful, is it? I'm going to hop down here. I'm just kind of checking out what other people are doing. And you can see here, we have this decaying granodiorite seam, which is tilted up. And that's what people appear to be chasing here, which makes sense. I'm just trying to get my bearings here and figure out what are things to look for. There's obviously like smoky and kind of clear and white massive quartz, and you can see there's like piles of it all over the place. I kind of started to just pick through some of these piles here because nobody gets all of it, and it's interesting to just kind of see what's what. I don't anticipate finding a ton of amazing stuff today, but I do plan on coming away knowing more than I know now about this whole kind of valley and stuff. So I'll show you what we already have. Wouldn't this be fun if that was complete? Except it's not. And Sarah found that, which is like going to be a little cluster when we clean it up, which that's cool. And there's a couple of like just broken ones. So it's obviously we're in kind of the right place, but what does that mean? Because we have kind of more clay soils over here that are eroding down, which obviously that's much safer to work in. I don't work under any type of overhangs just because it's not worth it for me. So I think I might just start cutting down and backfilling behind me and do some of that. I think that's my goal here. So I've talked to a lot of people about this location, and it seems like a more frustrating location than most. It seems like it can be super hit and miss, and often for a lot of people it's a total miss. I talked to one guy. He said he came out here and like camped for 4 days, right? And he found nothing. And then he came back and picked a hole and pulled half a bucket of amazing material. So I don't know. That's tough, versus places like Hanson Creek on the west side of Washington, where there's more rhyme and reason to it. So that's tough. I mean, clays and decaying granite seems like the place to look, but it's hard when you find only teeny broken fragments or nothing, and you move over. It seems hard when a place is hit and miss to be able to really figure out what is a good strategy. So I have a big seam of decaying granodiorite here, and a lot of it has naturally came off, which tells me that people haven't really worked this hole in a while, and there's not fresh screenings like there was down below. We might head back down there some, but I'm just kind of going around and doing little tests, I guss. And let me look in here.
See that pink on that tree? I'm marking something. Maybe it wasn't necessarily this hole, but it really goes under.
So a lot of this, like right here, we have that granite diorite, and then all of this seems like it's just like sloughed off, like somebody hasn't been here in quite some time, because you wouldn't naturally just like dig and let stuff kind of slough off like that. I'm just gonna kind of poke in here a little bit. What do we have? Do we have anything sticking out? It's kind of hard to see. We're not having the best luck. Well, we found a couple of points. They're little.
Yeah.
A couple of little points, I think. Obviously, they still need to be cleaned up and stuff. But this is really a prospecting trip. You can see where we parked back there on the road. I do have locations pinned out on my map that I just want to go investigate. This is kind of a prospecting trip after all. I do think maybe people don't necessarily know what they're doing. There's a lot of digging here without any rhyme or reason, it would appear.
I mean,
prime
we
example.
were just up there.
Prime example, right there on the next to the road. So I feel like people don't have much rhyme or reason to their actions out here. And the fact that this is listed in the gem trails, people are like crystals, go to crystals. What I want is more direction. I want to be like, oh, the best stuff is in clay, the clay layer under the decaying granodiorite. And I want to have a direct link between the amount of effort put in and the return on that effort, which that's what I want out of a location.
Look at that.
Which I think is reasonable. What do you got there, Sarah? Yeah. I mean, obviously there's quartz all over, but that's not the that's not the point. All right, so we're gonna walk down here and see if we've climbed anything.
I don't know. There's not hole. I mean, doesn't really look like anything. I guess, is that a hole? Here. No, that's just like the creek. I don't know why there's a trail here. Maybe it's just a deer trail. I guess you could go up that giant hill.
We're digging over there.
Yeah, that's where we were.
We were way up high though.
Yeah, the top of the hill.
Let's go look at those. Yeah, so people are clearly digging and pulling out very coarse granite with lots of quartz in it.
Similar over there.
Yeah.
Some like red top mushrooms in there.
Huh. That's a lot of work. See, my question is there a payoff coming out of this? I feel like the answer could be no. I feel like that might be the answer, but I'm not exactly sure. You know, I'm just, this is a trip to try to figure some things out.
I would hope that if you have to break the granite to get crystals, somebody would mention it at some point. I've never heard anybody mention that.
Let's hop in here and look with the flashlight. What are people getting into? That's so many bugs. Huh. hole? I don't know. And it kind of looks like there's a big hole up there that somebody has been working. So I'm going to try to make my way up to it. Man, this is steep. There we go. The camera's doing it some justice there. Jeez. Okay. I don't get it. I must be missing something, Sarah.
Yeah. Let's keep walking a little more.
That's major work to be just like finding what appears to be just more granite. I mean, it's coarse. That's pretty coarse.
Yeah, I mean, it's coarse granite, but theoretically people are pulling out like finger arm size crystals. You're not pulling it out of granite.
Well, at least so they say.
Yeah.
And when I say they, I mean, you know, people that have no accountability for any of those things that they say. So is this a situation of a person saying they're doing something and then other people hear it and they're like, cool, I'm going to go do it. And then you have a whole bunch of people doing the same thing, but never producing worth it results. That's just, you know, me speculating.
I know when somebody told us about their finds, they described it and then later they actually showed us the finds, and I felt like the description was a little exaggerated compared to showing us the actual thing they found.
Yes.
So, you know, and you're like, oh, I'm pulling out really big pieces, and then they're like, yeah, it was the size of my pinky. Really big. And you're like, oh, that's two different things.
When I think of a big crystal, I think big, like, you know, like, show me something measured in inches, at least.
Yeah.
At least. Generally, I would say a big crystal needs to be, I don't know, fill your hand. It's got to fill your hand in some way. We're walking back after checking stuff that ended up being nothing, but that's okay. We got some other locations in this area, kind of this valley, that we're going to go drive around and check out. Might be something, might be nothing. If it's something, you'll see it. If it's nothing, you'll see me back at the shop with all of our little finds cleaned up. Overall, it was a good experience being up at Solo. Definitely not a rock hounding trip so much as it was a prospecting trip. And we got a couple of decent things to look at here. And yeah, I mean, we've got to put out a fire. That log, we went and, you know, busted it up and made sure it was dead out. So maybe that alone probably made the trip worth it, I guess. Well, I do also think that a large number of the holes people have dug up there are what I'm just going to call a stupid hole, because it's stupid to follow that person. People are just kind of aimlessly up there digging. Generally speaking, I learned some stuff and we'll be going back at a later date. So we have, I mean, that would have been pretty good had it completed or not been broken. This I picked up because you can kind of see the potential size in that of what could have been. These are just some little more clear pieces. I mean, you can obviously see a very clear piece. Not really going to keep any of that. It's a little cluster here. That little cluster. I did learn enough about this location to warrant going back and doing some more intense digging. Now, this is actually fully formed crystal here. It's just a little, and it has some coating of the rock still on it. But have that, and then this one where unfortunately it was all broken. But the cluster is nice little cluster. Probably end up keeping those, and those not so much. But yeah, we'll be going back there and doing some more exploration. You know, it's just I can't stress this enough. It can be really hard with certain localities. It really feels like the blind are leading the blind, and it's not helpful at all, because you can't have two people saying exactly the opposite things about a locality and both of them be right. So yeah, we'll leave this one here, and thanks for coming by, hanging out, watching the very end. If you could leave me a comment, throw a thumbs up on the video, I'd appreciate it. Y'all take care.